What's up, everybody? It's Greg again, showing this tank again. And still not a lot going on over on this side, just same plant sitting there. The same's growing just a little bit, slow growing. This plant's not growing near as quick as the other one, because the male beta, or guppy swimming. There's one baby swimming back there. The Val isn't really sparking off and growing up like crazy like I was really hoping it would, but that could be the fact that I don't, like I said before, I don't do a whole lot of water changes on the, well, I do a lot of water changes, but when I first initially set them up, so there's a lot of tannins in the water right now, so it could just be that it's dimming the light a little bit too much. So I'm going to be doing a water change here on that pretty soon. But this guy is still growing like crazy, to the point that, let's see if I can block some of this light, that now I have this thing blooming over here. There's that one blooming. Oh, that's not gonna let go. That one's still blooming back there. That was the one that was on the front beforehand and then switched to the back. So then that other one grew up and it's right there. And there's actually another one. You can see the two of those things laying on the surface there. One is, it hasn't come out yet, or risen above the water yet. It's laying on the surface. But that plant's still growing like crazy. But beyond that, just been kicking back, relaxing, doing water changes. Unfortunately, I lost the male dragon scale father of most of half my fish. So that sucks. I don't like losing them, but it happens. But beyond that, just been trying to clean up the fish gym. Look at that, you can actually see bits and pieces of the floor. I actually have an area to walk to. I can get back to that one tank in the corner, which I eventually want to get out of there. I don't know where to put it yet. Maybe I'll move it over here and put that stand right there against that wall, but I won't have these betas on it. Still trying to get rid of some of these guys. Supposed to have someone come over today, but they never came. Oh well. They'll come another day, I'm sure. But here's what I'm working on right now, and I'm going to work on it. I work tonight, then I'm off for the next 3. Here's my 2 5-gallons. I took the rim off this one. Not very neatly, you can see. At first, when I started doing it, I was like, oh, well, I'll just take that off and I'll go just do a rimless tank. I'd like to have one of those. Never had one. And the more I started doing it, the more I started thinking about it. I like long, shallow tanks. And I thought, well, what if I were to connect 2 together? And I've been thinking about doing it either like this, or actually side by side like that, and just having a PVC aqua bridge going over with a filter on either side of it, and then having the filter on the other side with the intake on one side, and then ejecting water onto the other side. But I'm going to do it this way. And I'm going to take off this piece of glass, and I'm going to take off that piece of glass. And I'm going to connect the tanks together. I'm gonna, I still got 2 on this one. I'm going to cut down the side right here. I'm going to keep most of this bottom on here. I'm going to cut down off right here, and right here, take that off, pull the glass off. I'm going to do the same thing to that, except on the rim on this one, I'm going to do the same thing to the top. I'm going to keep most of it. When I took this off and I finally decided what I was actually going to do, I was sitting there thinking, like, well, I've got canopies for these 5 gallons. So I'm trying to think of a way that I could still use them. So I'm going to try to save whatever pieces I have of this and the other pieces right there, and I'm going to jerry rig bits and pieces of it around the corner so I have lips that I can set the canopy onto on this one. But what I'm also going to do, since I'm taking, as soon as I got this off here, I realized how thin a 5-gallon tank's glass is. And this long, I'm pretty sure it's going to bow a bit. So what I'm going to do is I've got a thing of PVC back there. I'm going to cut a strip of it, and then I'm going to file some hole or some grooves in it so that I can put it right on here. And it's going to, that way it'll hold those together. So, but this is what I'm working on right now, and I've got the next. I work tonight, and I got the next 3 days off. So I think this is what I'm going to be doing when I'm up all night, since I can't come in the fish room. I just have a little project like this. This would be cool. This would be a 10-gallon long tank. I don't know if I'm going to paint the backside of that other one or not. I'm not sure. I also have some other ideas I've always wanted to do, which is like a river tank, but an actual, not just looking like a river, of actually having a constant flow going one direction. And there's 1 or 2 videos out there online. One's called something like checking the current in my tank, and the guy drops in this little thing, and it drops in like right here, and it goes around all the way around the tank. He has a divider type thing in the middle. I'm kind of thinking I might take the glass and put it sideways like that and over here, but I don't know. Probably won't actually do that to this tank. That's something I'd like to do, but I can't imagine keeping fish in something that's just constantly moving like that. Although they do it in streams and rivers, I'd have to really figure out a way to set up some places for them to get out of the flow so that they could kick back and relax and not have to be struggling all the time to get the stuff out. I don't know why I'm pointing at these buckets. One thing of clean and crap water that I gotta dump everything of that out. What do y'all care what that is? But basically that's about it. This is what I'm going to be working on, see if I can do this. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to put it underneath this tank. I'm going to get some boards to go along there. And if this works out, I'm going to dirt it. And I'm thinking that if I do get puffers, that this is what they'll go in. I'm thinking I would get 4 to go in this, and probably like 3 autos, or maybe 5 autos. I don't know about autos or not. I've kept autos before, and I even suggested it at one point to a guy online who made his own tank, and he brought up a really good point that they're best kept in schools. And the really cool thing is, right before I went to work last night, that guy put up a video a couple hours before that, and I watched it, and he put 25 autos in a tank, and he's putting, I think he said like another 20 or 25 more. Oh, that would be awesome to see. I wish I could do something like that in the 80 once I got it all going, but that would be like all the fish I had in it. But that would be cool to see. I don't know. I'll probably, I don't know. I'm going to an auction. I'm planning on going to the auction for the Sacramento Aquarium Society in October. And I'm more thinking I might get this set up and cycled and ready for fish. So when I go down there, if I do decide to buy some fish, which, if I go down there, I'm buying something. Plants, fish, filter, food, I don't know. I'm buying something at the auction. I know that if I go. But I'd like to have something about this would be a 10-gallon long tank, which would give a lot of room for moving around, stuff like that. It'll seem like more room than it actually is, but it would be a good holder tank until I can get them into another tank. So, but a lot of that will depend on if I could get rid of some of the betas that I have now. I need to get rid of some of them. I got too many fish. I don't want to bring more in. And they say they accept donations to this thing, so I'm actually thinking I might donate my white clouds. You know, at least they go to a good home, to Aquarium Society, someone who likes some good healthy fish. I got those ones there, and then I got also the ones inside here in my I don't even know if you'd call this tank a sorority, since I know that there are males in there. You know, not the longfin males, but I think this one right here is a small male, and I think that there are at least 2 others in there because of the finished shape that are males. I've actually started to put some of the females that I pulled out on accident when I was trying to get the bigger fish out to get the smaller fish to grow. I started putting some of them back in and trying to find those males and pull them out. that's about it that I can think of. I know there's something else. Oh, I got a bristlenose in there. There's a little one. He's only like an inch and a half, something like that. There's only one. Oh, wait a minute. Get that layer off. Nope, can't do it. Not that closing blind, but there's a bristlenose sitting right there. And I got another two that this tank, I haven't really shown it a lot lately because it has been algae ridden. I've got two bristlenose in here that are going to work on that, and they're actually doing quite a good job. They're not really getting it off the rocks and stuff like that like I'd hope, but I don't like to pull out the rocks very often just for the fact that I don't want to disturb the coolies that are in there. I've lost two coolies and I think maybe a third, I'm not sure. Two I know for definite. One, it looked like a corpse that had been eaten down to less than barely the skeleton. Like the skeleton was starting to fade away and it somehow got moved out of the, I don't know. That was a while ago. But I do water changing on this once a week, doing 20% or a 5-gallon water change on a 25-gallon tank. I think that's like 20%. But I don't scrape off the algae. You'll see where I'll scrape off a little bit every now and then with the hose while I'm putting it in. But my mom gave me that one. The beta I gave her died, and she had bought this for its little jar that she was keeping. She was keeping in a gallon and a half jar or something like that. And I dirted it for her, and she bought this Amazon sword to put it in. I've been debating whether or not to move that over into the 30. I don't have clay in it though, and I hear those really need clay. But then again, none of my tanks have clay in it, and I've got those two swords that are doing well in there, and then I've got 3 swords in this one, that one. I still don't know what type of sword that is. I really like this sword. And that one back there, which is going crazy, going nice and big for how these ones look, and this ones. These all came in one package. And I don't know where the package is, but I don't ever have any runners off of these guys, and I think that's because I don't have any clay. I'm at 12 minutes and 30 seconds for this video. Crap. Alright, talk to y'all later.